welcome all of you on board today for the e-talk session on breast cancer. We also have with us Dr. Mansi Chauhan, and I welcome her. So sweet of her that she could kind of make out time and, come here and share about breast cancer and also, help us know about certain myths and facts about it. So let's start this evening today. And I would like to start it with a small poetry which I had read from a young girl who's a cancer survivor. So I would like to share a few lines with all of you. Dear cancer, a propaganda and agenda. It seems you control my life right now, but you really don't. It seems you limit me from the outer world, but you can't cripple the love. You neither shatter my hope nor corrode my faith. You can neither destroy my peace nor kill my friendships. I wish I could try. I wish I could try. Try not to cry. The affliction of chemo and the pain of every syringe won't kill me inside. The fear of your name no longer haunts my soul because I know my soul belongs to me and not to you. Not all wars are fought on the borders. Not all wars are fought on the borders with arms and guns. Some take place in hospitals and some I fight in my brain. So these were the few lines of cancer poetry which I thought I would share. And on this positive note, I would like to welcome Dr. Mansi. She's an expert surgical oncologist with an experience of more than 11 years and has been awarded with a gold medal during her post-graduation. She is an expert in the area of breast oncoplasty, head and neck surgery, and reconstructive procedures. So welcome, Dr. Mansi. And with this, I would like her to take over. And the first question I would like to ask her is, how common is breast cancer in India?
Hello, everyone. A very warm welcome and good evening. Thank you for conducting such kind of a session, and thank you everyone for taking out time and joining us for a very important discussion today. And I would like to really start our conversation with a small experience which I would like to share, which happened just right now before I came here. I'm sorry, apologies for getting late for a few minutes, but the reason is something which I would definitely like to share. I was actually seeing a patient in the hospital, and she was recently diagnosed with a breast lump. And it really took me so much of time to convince her to get the biopsy done, because she was fixated that biopsy is going to make this tumor spread. So do whatever you can do, but just don't do the biopsy, because I have heard it from many and many people that if you do a biopsy, if you're going to mingle with the tumor, or if you're going to disturb the tumor, then it's going to like spread, or it's probably going to cause me more damage than it will do good. So I have to really quote all the studies and talk about all the scientific evidences available and how this is a myth and why we keep doing this program, just to say that these are all myths. So it's very relevant topic which we are going to discuss today, that is myths which are pertaining to this particular disease, that is breast cancer. So as rightly said, that how common is breast cancer? So this is actually also a myth, that people think that it's something, there is something called breast cancer, but I should not be worried about it because I'm not going to get it, or it's something like it's like an alien disease or something. I should not be worried about it. But it's the fact is that breast cancer is the most common cancer in women in India as well as worldwide. So that is the most common type of cancer which a female could get. So it's very common. In fact, in our country itself, more than 1.5 lakhs, more than that, 1.7 lakh new patients of breast cancer are diagnosed annually every year. And out of these, unfortunately, more than 50% are diagnosed at a very late stage. And by late stage, which means that we are not able to cure them properly, or most of them succumb to the disease. So more than 70 or 80,000 women in India every year, they lose their life because of this disease. So it's a very common and a very serious disease which should be talked about.
And Dr. Mansi, you said you wanted to share a small presentation with us. So maybe
Yes.
we
So
can take a look.
maybe, yeah, so I can just go through some certain slides, and then we can have a more interactive session on this.
Sure.
So can I share the screen? Are you able to see the screen? Can you see the presentation?
Yeah.
Yes.
So as we were talking about that, it's not a rare disease, it's a myth, and it's everybody should be aware about it, and everybody should do the screening and more awareness about this topic. So the next myth is that breast cancer runs in family. So if nobody in my family has this disease, then probably I should not be concerned about it, which is again a myth, because we exactly don't know what is the cause of breast cancer, but what we know is what are the risk factors. So the risk factors can be genetic factors or they can be environmental factors. Genetic factors are those which are caused by faulty genes, and these account to only 10 to 15% of cancer. So out of all the breast cancers, only 10 to 15% are genetic. Rest all are because of the lifestyle which we are living, or the environmental factors. We can also put these risk factors into two categories, that is modifiable and non-modifiable. Modifiable is something which we can do something about, like the amount of estrogen and progesterone. These are the hormone exposures, the birth control pills, or the lifestyles like smoking, drinking, and the type of food we eat, obesity. These are something which are modifiable factors. The non-modifiable factors is that obviously female gender is at more risk. It doesn't mean that males cannot have breast cancer, which is a rare entity, but males do have breast cancer. And then increasing age increases the chances of getting this disease, and then if there is a family history, or the genes, as we were talking about, these are non-modifiable factors. So there is a very complex interplay of hormones, especially the two main hormones in a female body, that is estrogen and progesterone. So when we say lifestyle or the amount of hormone exposure to our body, we are mainly talking about these two hormones. Estrogen is a red or harmful kind of a hormone, especially for breast cancer, because its exposure more, the estrogen exposure in the body more, is the chances of developing this cancer, which happens because if the menses are starting at a very early age, or if the menopause is quite late, or alcohol, obesity, stress, lack of exercise, all these factors, they increase the estrogen exposure in the body, and hence the chances of getting this disease. On the other hand, progesterone is the friendly hormone which stabilizes the cells, protects us from cancer, and this can happen with planning the pregnancy timely or with proper breastfeeding. These habits or these lifestyle increases the amount of progesterone exposure, which is a friendly hormone. The other lifestyle factors are eating unhealthy food, smoking, and drinking alcohol. All these, there have been lot many studies upon this, and have eventually proven that all these things increase the risk of breast cancer in the female's body. Along with this, the lack of exercise and obesity is also one of the factors which increases the risk. Hence, the proper nutrition and proper physical exercise, all of this is required. I'm just going through the slides really quick, so that at the end we can have a more interactive session with all of you, because I'm really keen on listening to everybody's input on this. So the other myth is that I cannot do anything to reduce the risk. So maybe I might get breast cancer, but then what can I do about it too? Which is again wrong, because there is lot many things. Of course, you can change the modifiable risk factors. You can change your lifestyle, your way of living, so that towards a more healthier living, and hence reduce the risk. But at the same time, you have to be more aware about this, because ultimately, if you're more aware, if you catch the disease at a very early stage, or if you catch some precancerous conditions at a very early stage, then you are actually preventing the cancer from happening. So be breast aware. So in a very simple 5-step, how to self-examine yourself, which is very important, and every female should do it. In fact, I was talking to some college students, and I was actually mentioning this, that like any women would be a mother would explain their daughters about the monthly periods and what are the sanitary pads and something. This is some education about the menstruation and the menstrual cycle, which is transferred from the mother to daughter at an early age. This is something about the breast health, about the breast self examination, which should also be mentioned at that very moment, because this is equally important. Breast is a hormone sensitive organ, and breast health should not be ignored. So what should we look for is any lump, any rash, any skin changes, any swelling, any discharge, anything which is abnormal in the breast is something which we are looking for here in the breast self examination. In the first step, so we have divided these steps into two, that is inspection and palpation. So inspection is to see and palpation is to feel. So first, to see, what you begin looking at your breast in the mirror with your shoulders straight and your arms on the hips. What you are looking for is the size, the shape, the contour of the breast, any visual distortion, any changes in the nipples position, any inversion of the nipple, any dimpling of the skin, any skin changes, redness or a rash or soreness. This is something which you have to look for. The same step, to inspect, you have to raise your arm and look for all these changes. If you can see any contour changes or visual distortion or a nipple discharge for that matter. The next step is to palpate, that is to feel. Lying down, you have to use your right hand to feel the left breast, and the same with the left hand for the right breast. And with the finger pads, few finger pads, you have with gentle circular motion, you have to examine the whole breast area, which is from the collarbone to the upper part of abdomen, from the cleavage to the armpit region. So this is the whole breast area which should be examined with small circular movements with the finger pad, not with the palm, but with the finger pads. Similar step can be repeated again with the arms raised up, which is very easy, which can be easily done in a shower or with some lubricant on the hand if you feel like. So certain tips about breast self-examination is you should do it at the end of your monthly period, because few women might have some premenstrual pain in the breast something. So better to do this examination once you're over with your monthly periods. If you're pregnant or no longer have period, or you have irregular periods, you can just specify a date. You can mark it on the calendar that this date in the month, like a 10th of every month, I have to do my self examination. This is my breast self examination day. In case you feel any abnormality, so there's nothing, absolutely nothing to panic about, because there are many, most of the time, like 70 and 80% times, these kind of lumps are non-cancerous. So nothing to panic about, but which requires immediate medical attention. So mammography increases the risk of breast cancer. This is again a very big myth, and this is actually a very borrowed myth from the West, because in the West they have a screening mammography program, and every yearly they are sent an invitation that you have to visit the doctor and get your yearly mammogram done. And with all these mammograms and over the years and maybe decades, they are now dealing with some different problems, which are definitely not the scenario in our country, because we don't have such kind of a program. So screening mammography is nothing. It's like an X-ray of the breast. It's very common. It takes hardly 10 to 15 minutes of time. Like you do a chest X-ray, it's like an X-ray of the breast. And it is extremely important and recommended for women who are 40 years and older. For women who are 40 years and younger, might do an ultrasound breast for the screening, or sometimes a combination of both is required, an ultrasound as well as a mammography. So there's absolutely myth that mammography is going to cause you breast cancer. It's going to do more harm than doing good, because the amount of radiation which is exposed in this test is much less for an exposure, radiation exposure, which can cause cancer. So this is absolutely a myth, and do not shy away from getting this test done. This is how a mammography is done. Most of the panelists sitting here can give you more update about all these things, but this is how mammography is done with the toothpicks, and it's non-invasive, mostly non-painful, and a quick test, 15-20 minutes, not like whole day. No contrast is given, and it's a very safe and recommended test. The next myth is that all breast lumps are cancerous, which is again not right, because there are many other kinds of lumps which are there, other kind of lumps which are benign, non-cancerous, sometimes pre-cancerous lumps also. So these happen because of normal fluctuation in the hormones. So since breast is a hormone sensitive organ, with all the amount of hormone fluctuation, there might be some changes happening in the breast also. So while the growing age, the breast developmental phase, there are certain kind of lumps like fibroadenoma or hypertrophy which might happen. Then during cyclical changes, during the cycles, there can be nodularities or cyclical mastalgia, that is breast pain, which is experienced particularly during the cycles. Or during the aging phase, there can be breast cyst or ductal ectasias or certain kind of discharge from the nipple. So these are with the normal aging process of a female body, the normal hormonal cycle of a female body. These are the type of changes which might happen, and these are very common changes, very common problem. Like out of 10 out 6 or 7 out of 10 women will might have certain problems like these, and it should not be confused with cancer, and not to be panicked about. Can be mostly can be handled with conservative, that is tablets.
बाहर वो लगा दे फॉइल थोड़े मच्छर हो रहे हैं.
Okay, so the next myth is that biopsy causes spread of cancer, and I really want this. I don't know, maybe you can tell us more about how we can debunk this myth, because it's such a menace. Because without biopsy, we can't go further. This is like the first step we need, and biopsy is definitely not going to spread your cancer or tumor. It's absolute myth, and this biopsy is a practice which is being done for decades now, and no scientific evidence behind that. So the next myth is breast cancer is treated by surgical removal of complete breast. So this is also a myth that prevents patients from seeing the doctor and go and do some allied therapy with Ayurvedic or something. And that is because they think that probably if we go to modern medicine with breast cancer, they're just going to remove the complete breast. So this is also absolute myth, because there are many. Breast cancer management is actually a multidisciplinary management. We need multiple teams on board. It's not a single doctor treating the patient. There are surgeons, there are medical oncologists, then there are radiation oncologists, then we have the radiologist who are doing all these tests, then the pathologist who reports the biopsy, and then during the surgery, after the treatment, we have physiotherapists, psychologists, nutritionists. So all of these people are as a team, as a multidisciplinary team, are required to treat breast cancer. And definitely losing the breast just because of the disease is not an option. It's definitely we can have many other options, which is called breast conservation surgery. This has been there for decades now. It's not a new procedure. It's scientifically established procedure that breast conservation can be done, where we only remove the tumor and we preserve the whole breast and then give radiation to it, so that there is no tumor recurrence. Another advancement in this is oncoplastic breast surgery. In this, we kind of remove the tumor, but at the same time, with some plastic surgery techniques, we are able to maintain the shape and symmetry of the breast, so that the tumor is removed, but at the same time, the aesthetics of the breast is also maintained. So this is something which is called breast oncoplasty. Breast cancer cannot be cured is an absolute myth, and you are the example and legends of it. So I'm not going to say much about it. But for early detection, definitely, I would like to say that as much as we can early detect the tumor, which translate into greater and greater likelihood of cure. So that is why all this awareness and all the screening and all these things come into picture, because if we can catch hold of this disease at a very early, that is first or second stage, where we are lacking in our country, if we can do that, we can actually achieve really good cure rates. So this is something, that is why the awareness and screening we are talking here. And because we have our own problems, we need to talk about our own solutions in the country, which is obviously awareness. So we are not as much aware as the Western world might be, and we obviously do not have screening programs as the Western world has. So we need to find our own solutions towards this awareness programs, and definitely the stigmas and the myths which are preventing patients from getting the diagnosis or getting the proper medical attention are something which needs to be focused upon. And then the diagnosis and the treatment which needs to be made available as well as affordable only then, because if you do a free screening program and you detect somebody with breast cancer, but then they have no money or nowhere to go and get that treated, so the loop doesn't complete there. So if you're thinking about a solution about this problem, we have to complete the loop with the treatment made available and affordable at the same time. So at the end, only 3 tips to beat the breast cancer is know the facts that it's a real threat and it's not an alien disease. You have to be aware about it and take steps to deal with it, to prevent with it, and recognize your own additional high risk factors. If you have a family member who's diagnosed or there is some breast pathology which you're dealing with, you should know your additional risk factors and protect yourself by getting annual screening done, which can be a self breast examination, mammography or ultrasound or clinical breast examination. So this is our cancer surgery team at the Sikirullah Hospital in Gurgaon. And we all are cancer surgeons. We deal with organ specific cancer training expertise. And this is it. Thank you. Now let's have a more interactive and let's take questions if anybody have. I would be happy to answer them. Handing it over to you, Pooja. You have to unmute yourself.
Yes, yes. That was very informative, Dr. Mansi. I just had one question, and then we can also ask others if they have any question to ask from you. I had read somewhere that mammography cannot help you to detect breast cancer in case you have dense breast. So can you please throw some light on that?
Yeah, it's a very good question. So usually if you're going for a mammography or a screening, it has to be combined with a clinical assessment by a doctor. So when they examine you, they might feel that sometimes that with mammography and ultrasound is also required, or sometimes even an MRI is required, because in denser breast or in firm breast, mammography sometimes does not give away the tumor so easily, because the tumor is hidden inside the dense breast tissue. So when we look at the mammography imaging, it might mask behind the dense breast. So hence, additional investigations are required in certain cases, like an ultrasound, or sometimes a new technique which is called tomosynthesis. So it's a kind of a 3D mammography that can also be done for denser breast. So it's not a test which you should go and do over the counter and sit at home with the reports. It has to be 100% of the times combined within clinical examination with the specialist, which cannot be avoided. So when they examine you and then they suggest that these are the tests you need to do, maybe a mammography, maybe an ultrasound and mammography, or a 3D mammography or an MRI, this is required.
Okay. Another question I have, Dr. Mansi, is like people who are diagnosed with breast cancer, do most of them need to get mastectomy? And if you could just define what mastectomy is for our audience. And what is the percentage of people who need to get mastectomy in case they are diagnosed with breast cancer?
Okay, so mastectomy is complete breast removal. So it's a surgical removal of the whole breast, and it is a very old procedure. It has been there for many decades, and this was the very first procedure which was done initially, like in ancient times. Women were diagnosed with breast cancer, and the whole breast was removed along with the muscle, and it was a very mutilating surgery. But then with the advancement of sciences, there have been many other procedures which can be done, which is called a breast conservation surgery, where we preserve the breast and we only get rid of the tumor. So definitely that's completely wrong that you will require a mastectomy, or most women would require a mastectomy, which is not right. Because if diagnosed in early stage, the breast conservation surgery, the breast oncoplastic surgeries can be done. And even if you are diagnosed at a later stage and the tumor is big as compared to the breast size, chemotherapy can be given, the tumor can be shrinked, and then a conservation surgery can be done. And in case if a mastectomy is required, it is recommended as per the oncological view, then a reconstruction of the breast can be done at the same time. So there are so many options available, and just getting the mastectomy is definitely is one of the options, but definitely not the only option. So it mostly depends upon what is the patient's perspective towards this. And even if a oncologist says that a mastectomy, like a complete removal, is recommended, still you can have options like reconstructions, whether immediate during the same surgery or even after like 1 year of the mastectomy, a delayed reconstruction. So there's absolutely nothing to worry about that if breast cancer diagnosis equates to a mastectomy or breast removal.
Thank you, doctor. So let me now